Hi, Todd Pouliot, Gateway Financial. Visit us at mygatewaymoney.com. Really appreciate you coming back again for another checklist and flowchart series. I think we're over 60 videos now, which is fantastic, and appreciate you all with some great ideas. So one of the ideas that we were given was about healthcare, and we have open enrollment coming up. So open enrollment for Medicare normally starts around October 15th every year. And this is a very short window for everyone to get all their work done. So we decided that today might be a good thing to look at Medicare options and this flow chart. So many of our clients rely on Medicare for healthcare coverage. They've enrolled in Original Medicare or Medicare Advantage, and they are likely to have prescription drug coverage as well. For current beneficiaries, there's Medicare A, B, C, and D. And again, October 15th marks the open enrollment period during which changes for those coverages may be made. Now, I want to advise you that we do not sell these type of products, but we'd like to help our clients make sure they're doing the proper things through financial planning. And it's always good to have people that you can trust nearby and good people to refer out to get more information on these Medicare plans, whether or not it's the original Medicare or Medicare Advantage. So we're going to cover a couple needs here. We're going to look at the changes in healthcare needs, cost premiums and deductibles, access to specific providers, services, and prescription drugs, any out-of-state concerns, and any effective dates changes. So before I switch over, I do want to caution you that there has been some recent changes in some of the healthcare plan. We're still trying to work through those, but we try to update our flow charts for you so that here we are in 2022. We have this flow chart for you, and obviously we'll update that as we get more information about the current changes on that plan. Specifically, those changes were about some diabetic drugs and some prescription drugs that we want to make sure we add to this. So here it is, our flow chart, again, for 2022. Have your Medicare plan costs and or healthcare costs recently increased? Are you paying for the coverage that you don't use? And let's go here to yes right away to kind of get into the meat of things. Consider seeking a more affordable plan that meets your needs. Compare premiums, copays, out-of-pocket maximums. Make sure you're going to somebody who has access to several different plans and understands your state-specific issues where you live in. So we want to make sure we're in here. And again, all of these flow charts, if you follow all the areas, all the yes-no logic statements, we want to get to, are you currently enrolled in Original Medicare Part A and B? So I'm going to pause there. I'm going to go through some of the other areas and then come back because since they all lead into here. So if we answered no, has your plan's coverage of service or have your needs for service recently changed? Have you become more ill or whatever the situation is, do you need to change the plan? And has the services or needs for services changed? Consider seeking a new plan. Obviously, if you expect dental, hearing, or vision expenses, consider a Medicare Advantage plan, because remember those things. I remember when I was younger and a friend of mine who's a doctor in audiology told me the hearing aids weren't covered. I was absolutely shocked by that. And those are some of the experiences through life that wisdom will bring you that hey, I will need some dental care, I will need some hearing care or vision. As we age, we all know that our vision, obviously with my glasses or hearing, I'm sure my wife says that my hearing's probably not as good as it used to be, and also dental expenses. So again, do you require access to certain hospitals, physicians, and or prescription drugs that are not covered under your current plan? Again, if that answer is yes, consider seeking a new plan, including out-of-state specialists, if any. I know for my personal situation, my father's had a lot of healthcare issues over the last, I would say, 3 years. He lives in a different state and comes up here to see us at our local hospital. And these are considerations for him that we need to talk about because of certain specialists that he needs to see. So essential prescription drug specialists, and compare network and drug formularies and tiers. Again, that's why having somebody who is efficient and really understands this is really important to have on your side. And again, could there be other compelling reasons to update your coverage? It can be convenience. It could be equality. It could be travel plans. We have those, as we talk to people who move into retirement or financial freedom, the go-go years when they're still a senior citizen but relatively young and they want to go see family, vacation, and do all those things. The slow-go years when they're not able to move around as much or don't want to have to fly as much. And then the no-go years as you age and you get critical illness and those things change. So be careful of those compelling reasons. Even if your costs, coverage, and service needs haven't changed, consider giving your plan an alternative annual review. Always review your health insurance. My wife is very fortunate, more versed in healthcare than I am. So I have her review our family plan, and that's important for us and our family. And if the answers are no, consider maintaining your existing coverage another year if you have none of these things to consider. But back to where I paused earlier about being enrolled in the original Medicare, if the answer is yes, you can change from original Medicare to a Medicare Advantage plan, but only between the dates October 15th to December 7th. Now, mind you, I will tell you, if you are considering these things, be ahead, plan ahead, try to get these decisions figured out before, because when you wait and wait and wait, a lot of these healthcare providers, this is their busiest time of the year. It's probably worse than being a tax preparer. That last week in November, obviously we have Thanksgiving here in the United States, and then that first week in December, it's almost impossible to get a hold of them, and they're just usually physically and emotionally drained at that point. So be ahead on that planning. Do you have a Medicare prescription drug plan? Again, that's Part D. You can drop your Medicare drug plan or change to another drug plan, again, between the dates October 15th and December 7th. So I'm just going to back up a little bit to that original Medicare. We do not have it. Are you currently enrolled in Medicare Advantage Plan Part C? If the answer is no, you must first enroll during your initial enrollment period. It's a 7-month window that includes the month you turn 65 and the 3 months before and after. So the very limited window there. So the general enrollment period is usually January 1st through March 31st, or a special enrollment period if you're eligible. So be careful of those windows. Again, that's why you work with a financial planner that does holistic or comprehensive planning. And we kind of talk about these things prior to you turning age 65. When you get to age 65, you have a lot of decisions to make in a very short time. So if we answered yes, you can change to a new Medicare Advantage plan, adding or removing drug coverage, or return to original Medicare enrollment during 2 open enrollment periods between October 15th and December 7th, which we said quite a bit already, and January 1st and March 31st. So be aware that you can do that, and make sure you look at joining that Medicare drug plan. And again, any late enrollment penalties may be there from coverage gaps, and you may be subject to penalties. Again, we want to make sure we make the correct decision up front. We have a little bit of flexibility, but however, we want to make these decisions early and often. You want to also be communicating very well with your physician, whether you have a general practitioner or a specialist, and just talk about whatever situations you may have personally. Talk about what the long-term prognosis is for those things, and what your life expectancy may be. And they're never going to tell you a day or a year, but you need to have those conversations. So if you require access to certain providers, services, and or prescriptions, Ensure that those changes will meet your specific needs. Now, again, I brought up a personal situation with my father. I really need to make sure he has access to that certain provider that he needs to see at a certain hospital. So if we made any changes, we really need to make sure that he's got a specific provider that he can still stay and work with. And any changes you make during open enrollment will not go into effect immediately. Remember, those changes are made, that effect will be on January 1st of the following year. And if you enrolled in Medicare Supplement, which is called Medigap, you may make changes anytime, but you might be subject to underwriting and or denied coverage. Be cognizant that Medigap is aware the reason why you're making a change is that you might need underwriting and you might be denied coverage because your personal needs have changed. I mean, this is a great topic of conversation, and I love that people have these conversations with us. We do not sell health insurance, and that's what one of the things that I think people forget. Being fee only, we're only held accountable to our clients, and having discussions about healthcare are very important when you talk about financial planning. People always have this goal of retirement. Well, we don't really talk about the longevity on the end side, and that longevity can be 90 years or 100 years. And I've got a client that wants me to plan to age 120. Why? Because it's her money and it's her plan, and that's what we're going to do. And she's a very healthy person who wants to have that plan in place for her if that life expectancy is reached, and she has longevity in her family. So we want to make sure that we come here with an open mind and we talk about these things. And health insurance is one of the topics that was never discussed with financial planning 20 years ago. We've found that is a topic that needs to be discussed, and how that interlays with all the web of financial planning for Social Security and withdrawing from certain assets to live on. So I appreciate you coming back. We love those subscribers. You guys really make us happy. Helps us with the algorithm when you click that thumbs up. Don't forget to ring that bell, and we'll provide you with more education. And hopefully we're making these simplified enough that you understand what we're talking about. Thanks, and have a great day. Be well.